Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Good Morning LEQ.
Yes, yes. As you see, Corey and I are in different locations this morning, but we did not want that to stop us from coming and saying good morning to you.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah, so we are excited to be here this morning. A little tired, like always, but that's what happens when you do a live the night before.
Right.
And with Corey traveling, he's even just a little more tired. Nothing like sleeping in a hotel bed, right?
It's always a little different, let's just say that.
so, um, but while we wait a few seconds for people to get on, don't forget at the end of it, we're going to talk about our gratitude journal. So make sure you pull that out or have something because we want you to participate with us. Um, but we're just glad to have everybody on with us this morning. We appreciate when people take the time out of their day to spend some time with us, whether it's watching us live on Thursday night, live this morning, or, if you can't reach us during that time, then, catching up with us later after it. We really appreciate our subscribers. And by saying that, we have hit over 20,000 subscribers. So if it
Have we
wasn't,
really?
we have, yeah.
Oh my gosh, wow. Shows how
Yeah.
much I pay attention when I'm traveling. Oh,
So we hit it while he was traveling, and it's super exciting. We're so excited to be able to have you guys subscribe and watch us on YouTube. Um, the more subscribers they have, the more we can do videos, and it just really, and it keeps us going. It makes us appreciated of our gratitude. We're grateful for you. Anyway,
definitely. Definitely. It's
so
weird kind of not being in the same location.
yeah, it is different, isn't it? Like I'm like on my stage in the center. But I do have my flag in the back for today because today, what are we doing? We're remembering and honoring those of 9/11. So
Hmm.
that after. So I guess we probably should get started because Corey's got to get to do what he's doing, and we will have to turn this off in a little bit. But kind of what we wanted to do this morning is just take a few minutes, not really talk about quilting, but more likely, let's just have a conversation with you. We wanted to commemorate the 20 years since 9/11. That is tomorrow. Excuse me, to honor and remember those that lost their lives, the families that lost the loved ones, and the service members who served to protect us since then. We wanted to make sure that we took a few minutes, talked to you guys about that, talked about your feelings, because we really feel like we're family with you. And so we always like to hear your stories, and we hope that you like to hear our stories. And that's what Good Morning LEQ is. It's everything. So we want to take a few minutes to do that. Um, so Corey, I'm gonna put you on the spot, but
Okay.
so I kind of wanted, while we're waiting for other people to get on and talk to us about tomorrow, I wanted us to kind of tell our story, just really quick, briefly, like where we were when we heard, because Corey was a little tight when it all happened, but he remembers it like it was yesterday. So,
Hmm.
Corey, really quick, tell your story on just where were you when you heard about 9/11, and how did it make you feel?
So I, like you said, remember it like it was yesterday. I don't remember much about grade school, especially what I learned, but I don't remember many teachers' names, but I do remember the exact teacher that I had in the class that I was, and the school that I was, where that classroom was when I got the news. I'm not going to say her full name for privacy reasons, but I was in Miss Q's class, and she had heard through the grapevine what had happened, and more or less against school rules, she turned it on the TV because she believed that we needed to know what was going on in the country. And we watched on TV what was happening, and I believe she actually got in trouble for that. But she had a strong belief that we needed to know what was going on. And I still remember those images on the TV, and it kind of just numbed the whole school for the day. I mean, obviously for time since then, but the day was it was a really rough, weird, odd day because still at the age that I was in first grade. At the age that I was, I still didn't understand what was going on TV and what was happening in New York and around the country at that time.
Yeah, and for me, I was at home because I had just had surgery 2 days before, And my friend Allison called me on the phone and woke me up, and she's like, "You have to turn on the TV. You have to see what's happening." Um, and so I turned it on, and it just kind of did not feel real. It was kind of like, am I watching an action movie? Like, what's happening? Cannot be real. This couldn't be happening in our country. Um, and it was just such a surreal feeling. And all I could think about was, I watched those videos over and over and over again for a week from, all three locations. And I just could not believe that what happened. The world changed that day. And I think that it's important that we never forget um, what happened, and that we always make sure that we remember, but we also honor those every year that lost their lives in this senseless attack, and the families that lost their loved ones, and just the whole process. Because it's just, I don't know, it's just still surreal today. You still think of it, and you still see the pictures, and you're like, it felt like it was yesterday. So just briefly, I thought, it might be good to interact with you guys on this if you want to and you feel comfortable. Like, what is a memory that you've had of that day or since that day that you might want to share with others that might be thinking or having a rough day, knowing up to what tomorrow's coming? So we just thought we would just kind of chat with you this morning about that, and hear how you felt or where you were or any of that stuff. And I know this, like I said, this isn't normal talk for us. We're usually talking quilting and laughing and talking, but we felt like this was important to have the conversation. And we wanted to give you guys a platform to kind of have the conversation with fellow quilters and fellow friends if you wanted to. So please feel free to type anything in there, even if it's just a quick memory or memorial part of it. Yeah. So Corey, any other thoughts that you want to add while we wait on people to put their thoughts in?
Um, it was just a surreal day. It still doesn't click. So the biggest thing is we should never ever forget. And that's why I titled the video that way.
Yeah.
This time it's like episode 5. We'll never forget. And so that's just one of those things, just to never forget what happened. And
Yeah, I've seen, if I had thought about this ahead of time, I would tell you to grab those quilts pictures that I've seen coming up on Facebook the last 2 days from IQA. There's some beautiful, beautiful quilts that were done in memory of 9/11, like the different images and pictures and families. And, it's such an art. I think in general, quilting is in an art, right? Even
yeah,
if you just do a simple pattern, it's an art. So if you can take your quilting and turn it into a actual, like an art piece, whether it's a photo of anything, not just of what we're remembering, but a photo, and you can take fabric and create any type of art with that, right?
hmm
Yeah, and it's beautiful, and it's stuff that can be hung as portraits. It can be used anywhere. I mean, there's quilts that have been turned into art that are in museums. So it's just being able to put your feelings into what you do. So an
right.
artist, an artist that paints might put their feelings into a portrait, a painting, right? Like they might paint how they feel. Where a quilter can take fabric and cut it up and put their art into a wall hanging or something like that. So it's good that we have our places that we can go to be able to do that, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, kind of using the talent that each and every one of you have, to kind of, like Diana was saying, express your feelings through that.
Yeah. Go ahead, keep going. I was just making sure it was working.
Oh,
I
no,
forgot to check that.
good. Make sure we're not muted either. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. But just being able to express yourself through your fabric choices, your thread choices, your art, can kind of get those memories out on, instead of the canvas, like she was saying, out into a quilt, to be viewed.
Yeah, exactly. So, we have a comment, from Sandy, well, I don't know, Corey, can you put the comments over so people on other
Yeah.
platforms? Yeah, just, I mean, you can read it. She put her husband on an airplane at 6 and she didn't get to hear from him until 2 that day. That would be, oh, I couldn't even imagine having that, knowing
Yeah.
what was going on and you hadn't heard from the loved one. So
Right.
it'd be hard.
Crazy. Yeah.
So Sandy, thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate that. Um, but yeah, so I let's see, let's put another one from Corinne. If I said that wrong, we live just outside of DC. Oh, that would be really close. Frightening and sad. The military jets continually circling the area. But then it was execute. What man? That's hard. So just it's
Yeah.
like they've had so many types of movies since then too. And speaking of that, while we're waiting, some other people. Thanks for sharing that, Corinne. Um, there's been some tributes on TV. Like they had the tribute I watched last night. The women of 9/11. So just things like that. Every year there's something that comes up, right? They have some type of memory honoring. But what I really liked about the one I was watching last night, and I'm sure others were like this, but this was just the one I saw, was that they were telling their story, but then and how hard it was and what they went through and their emotions and their sadness and how many years it took them to be okay with things, and but then how they were resilient, right? Because from challenge we can grow, and
Mhm.
they were resilient in and how they've made what they've done with their lives since. So I thought that was a really good way to honor things. It's like this is what we've gone through, but and this is how we've mourned and how we've moved and how we have dealt with it, but we're also doing something to honor it too
Right.
in their careers and in their life. So I thought that was those are cool. If you haven't seen that, that was no on ABC. And they have a good one coming on tonight as well. So those are always good ways to kind of see kind of everything that's to have the same feelings, to be able to express what you might be feeling inside and then how they're feeling, but also to see how the resilience and how they've had grown and how the country has grown too since then.
Mhm.
So,
I've been able to get through it and different things like that.
yeah, exactly. So, well, we won't, like I said, we won't keep you long. So we appreciate you guys being on with us and putting your comments and feedback in there. Um, and how you felt that day and things that you think about. So just keep doing that. But while we're waiting on maybe a few more people to put their thoughts together if they want to, um, we want to make sure we do our gratitude journal. So, Corey,
Yay.
do you have your gratitude journal with you, Corey?
I do. It's over on the other side of the room. So bear with me just a moment
That's
while I have that brought to me because I left it over there.
So we wanted to make sure we talked about last week how every week we want to end with something that we're grateful for to help us start the weekend, start the day. Maybe it's just for somebody watching just to be able to get out of bed. Um, so really quick, we'll say what we're grateful for, and then we'll put a few more comments in there, and then we'll let you guys have your days. So for me, I am thankful for the military. I'm thankful for the ones that have served since that day, before that day, that still serve now to continue to protect me and my family so that I can have the freedom and security that I have. I see so many things in the world, and I'm so thankful to still live here. No matter the chaos we have in America on day to day, it's still to me the best place to live. And I am just very thankful to have the military there to protect me. Corey, what was yours? That was what I had in mind.
You took mine.
Well, that's okay. We can have the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, mine is we I don't know if a lot of people know this, but we come from a military family. So it's a very strong thing that runs within us. And I, like Diana was saying, or like my mom was saying, I guess I need to start saying that. People get weird when I call you by your first name.
I know. Just call me mom.
Um,
It's fun.
but that's weird to me though. We work together. It's different. Anyway, like my mom was saying, we that runs very strong within us. And so I am very grateful for the military and for the troops that have served and the troops that are serving on a day-to-day basis to keep us safe, to keep us to be able that allow us to be able to do things like this,
Yeah.
to speak our minds freely, and protect us from those abroad that want to hurt us. And so that's in my journal as well.
Awesome. Well, let's put up this last comment from Amy. And then I can see that she meant to put 2001, obviously, when we read it. But her sister was in the World Trade Center for a meeting the day before. And it looks like she kept the visitor badge as a reminder that tomorrow is never guaranteed. That is very true. That is very
Definitely.
true. Amy, thanks for sharing
Extremely
that.
true.
Yeah. I was I had went the year before, November of 2000. I was actually in the World Trade Center visiting, and so I had those pictures, and I pulled those pictures out, and it was just it was very surreal that it wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can't read that. Jane, is that Jane?
Jane.
Hey, Corey, why don't you read them for a few times?
Her 20-year-old Eagle Scout grandson will be one of the scouts that will have a 24-hour salute tomorrow at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum in memory of 9/11.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I have an Eagle Scout son, so I know how much that means to them to be able to put on their uniform and do their salute and just stand there in representation and hold the flags and stuff. So, oh man, I promised I wouldn't start tearing up, but I'm starting to read, and this is what happens. Even 20 years later, you read stories and you talk to people about it, and there's still so much emotion inside of us, right? We still have all this emotion um, going on, and it's okay. It's okay to have the emotion because then that helps us remember what to be thankful for and brings us back to gratitude and helps us remember everything that we do have. Because even when the things can be really tough out there, it's just a quick memory that we're here. We're here to be another day to be able to move on and do stuff, whatever we choose. And in this field, it's quilting. It's finding peace in quilting, enjoying what we do in our hobby and in our business. So, okay, Corey, I think that we'll call it a day. Let you get to do what you do. I'll get to
Okay.
start working here. So thank you so much for watching us, for being on with us and letting us be real with you on Good Morning LAQ and you being real with us. We love having a conversation with you. And again, that's what this is about. This is about us to be able to talk, about you to be able to have a platform on things that we talk about and us to kind of come together. And anything that comes up on chat helps somebody else. No matter what the subject is that day. So, Corey, why don't you take us out?
Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much for being with us today on Good Morning LEQ. We hope you have a safe and memorable weekend this weekend. All of our love goes out to everyone. And we will see you next Thursday on After Hours at Linda's Electric Filters.
Bye.
We'll see you. Bye.